do something, then maybe I know some people who will.
Thank you for tuning in. This is DJ Fob Fresh from SegaShiro.com, your Sega resource, and this is a video review of Renegade Ops. Developed by Avalanche Software, the creators of Just Cause and Just Cause 2, Renegade Ops is available on PSN, Xbox Live, and on Steam for Windows. The footage you're seeing here is from the PS3 version. It's probably best described as a mashup of G.I. Joe and Micro Machines. And if anything, it's big on explosions. There were early comparisons to the Jungle Strike series, and despite it having the over-top perspective, none of the strategy elements have made it over to this game. There's no ammo counting and there's no fuel counting. This is just arcade blasting glory. It has much more in common with the old NES title Jackal or Mass Destruction on the Sega Saturn, with a little bit of Blast Corps from the N64 thrown in. Funny enough though, when you do get into a helicopter in Renegade Ops, it's one of the best experiences in the game. It's almost a reward mechanic that you get a few times, and it's a ton of fun. Sega does have some DLC planned for this title, and I hope one of the new ships or new weapons that you get is a helicopter for the main gameplay. It might make the game a bit easy, but damn if it wouldn't be fun. However, despite me referencing all of those retro classics, Renegade Ops brings a lot of new and great stuff to the table. For example, you gain experience points as you play the game, regardless if you die or not, so you're always moving forward each time you try a level. There are 4 different characters, each with their own special move and special upgrades regarding that special move. Add to this fact a bunch of skills that you can unlock and then later modify your own vehicle with. You get a great variation, and on top of that, you can also create the perfect machine for your type of gameplay. For example, if you just want to barrel into the fight, you might want to modify your vehicle with health upgrades and weapon upgrades. Add in a set of 3 secondary weapons, plus multiplayer mechanics, and you got a twin-stick shooter that stands out from the crowd. The controls are nice and solid as you would expect, and they feel great both on the Xbox 360 and on the PS3. And as you can see from the upgrade screen, there's a lot of fundamental ways that you can change your vehicle, and this is helpful for the various missions. And on top of that, there are leaderboards that you can challenge for. And while most of the characters seem balanced, especially when you start upgrading them high enough, the initial favorite on the leaderboards was Roxy. Another cool multiplayer aspect to the game is that the game will actually update while playing if you beat a friend's high score or if you get a high enough damage streak. And while Renegade Ops is a simple type of fun, there are some issues that may irk some gamers. For one, the story is wafer thin, and it has about all of the plot complexity as an episode of G.I. Joe. And while you can change characters in between levels, the game really kind of rewards choosing one and carrying them through the storyline. However, your character doesn't really talk at all. Most of the talking is left to General Bryant, who's a love him or hate him kind of character. The comic book inspired cutscenes reminded me more of Afterburner Black Falcon than something like Infamous 2. The only real issue that I had with the game is that occasionally I would get stuck on the actual terrain. Now, it was never game breaking, however, it did always seem to happen in the same spots on multiple times. It could have been that the action was too intense in those scenes, but it did annoy. 4-player multiplayer is tons of fun, it's just pure chaos. However, the game doesn't actually scale the difficulty, so if you're going to play in this mode, you probably want to use the hardcore difficulty setting. The game also supports 2-player split-screen play in dynamic or static view modes. The co-op experience in Renegade Ops is fantastic, and one of the ultimate reasons to play the game. However, if you are going to play multiplayer, make sure you play with people that will share the power-ups. There are 9 missions in total, and while the story arc does finish, it does leave enough holes open for a sequel. Each one of those missions will take you roughly about 25 to 35 minutes to complete, less once you get more skilled at the game. However, it's not exactly easy, as I did find myself looking forward to finding a 1-up. The graphics for Renegade Ops are generally fantastic. There's a great feeling of depth, and the explosions look spectacular. I really enjoyed some of the environmental effects. However, there were a few issues with the shadows in the game, and some minor pop-in during loading screens. Sonically, the game is loud and punchy and has a nice hard rock backing. Renegade Ops is a solid entry from Sega's digital division. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you like explosions, it's worth checking out the demo. This is DJ Fob Fresh signing out, saying keep on gaming.